Now on 767 News, Dominica makes active move towards certifying TVET learners. Primary schools island-wide to benefit from French-Canadian text donation, and ICT Minister assures that media regulation is not aimed at shutting down any media house. In sports, D-Threads emerged victorious in DABA's Game 2 of the President's Cup. Welcome everyone, I'm Alicia George and you're watching 767 News. We'll be right back with the latest stories and developments after this break.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever six. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Dominica. Cricket comes to Nature Island once again and Digicel Play will be on top of the action. The regional 4-day cricket match, Windward Islands Volcanoes versus Guyana Jaguars, comes to Dominica at the Windsor Park Stadium. Join us on 767 Local for a 767 Sports Special on Channel 3 from March 20 to the 23rd, 2015 from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tune in and recap the day with sports commentators Joseph Thomas and Andy Carter. Also join us for our post-games discussions on Friday, March 19 and again on Monday, 23rd March from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Channel 3. Look out for the 767 Sports Special brought to you by Digicel Play.
Welcome back. First up this news time, a 2-week workshop which focuses on Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, under Technical Vocational Education Training, TVET, is ongoing at the Baffin State site of the Ministry of Education. The Master's Training Program has engaged 13 participants, 3 from the Dominica State College, 2 from Antigua, 2 from the private sector, and 6 from secondary schools across Dominica. Mariel Matthew, Director of Continuing Education at the Dominica State College, said these participants are expected to use the wealth of knowledge acquired at the workshop to act as and train CVQ assessors.
We train assessors to be able to assess effectively and efficiently within the Caribbean Vocational Qualification framework. The CVQ, Caribbean Vocational Qualification, is what unites the region. It is a regional approach to technical and vocational education and training in which standards are set by industry at which everybody in the Caribbean should be to be certified. So what we will have is one yardstick to measure everybody, whether you are in Jamaica or in Guyana, whether you're in Barbados or Dominica.
Matthew told 767 News that Dominica has decided to move speedily with CVQ programs as it creates a platform for the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, CSME, to operate. He highlighted the critical role of assessors in the realization of these programs.
In the past, we have been bringing assessors from outside of the country to train our assessors. So what we are doing now, the aim of this 2-week workshop is to train people in Dominica who are already assessors themselves to become master trainers so that we in Dominica will become independent and will be able to deliver training for our assessors.
Matthew also pointed out that in Dominica we have several TVET programs and programs which encompass the TVET concept, but the purpose of CVQ is to prepare individuals for employment. Caribbean Vocational Qualification, he said, certifies the individual, giving potential employers an idea of how and where to employ that individual within his business.
CVQ trains people that upon graduation, they hit the road running, they move into work immediately. Because CVQ, the focus is upon competence, what you can do, not what you have. You may have 12 CXCs, but the question arises from the employer, yes, you have 12 CXCs, but tell me, what can you do?
Gary Southwell from Antigua, a TVET teacher for over 28 years and one of the participants at the training program, seemed to be quite thrilled by the initiative and is hoping that with this new skill and knowledge, they are able to assist in getting people certified in their respective countries.
There's a CBQ standard of CBET skill. And the situation being that we have a problem in the Caribbean that individuals have a skill, hand skill, but though in a theoretical. So what happened now, this program now, we equip them, certify them so they can go out and get a job and live comfortable. And when we go back and train the individual to become assessors, those individuals now be a part of the NTA. After the big part of the NTA now, we have a job program being in industry. So the industry form the CVQ a standard, or we create a NVQ for Antigua, so that we can train this individual now, so the job market can open up and certify. Also, the Labor Department can play a very pivotal role in that aspect, because to be employed now, the person must have a CVQ or NVQ from Antigua and Barbuda.
The CVQ TVET workshop, which concludes on Friday, is being facilitated by Paulette Dunpierre of Trinidad's National Training Agency and was organized by the local TVET Council in Dominica. And in more news on education, the Dominica Health and Education Initiative, DAHI, has contributed in excess of $16,000 in computers and school materials to primary schools and early childhood centers on the island. On Thursday, the U.S.-based non-profit organization handed over 21 computers, 2 laptops, and other learning materials to the Ministry of Education for further donation to the Wharton Waven, Caleb John Laura Primary, Kulibistri, Soufriere, and Grand Bay Primary Schools, in addition to the Bright Beginnings Center preschool.
The following primary schools will receive 1 desktop computer: Wharton Waven, Caleb John Laura Primary, Kulibistri, Soufriere, and Grand Bay Primary Schools, and 1 laptop to the Bright Beginnings Center preschool. A similar donation will be made to 15 other primary schools in the upcoming week. In collaboration with Ms. Vida George, some office supplies will be distributed to a few early childhood centers as well.
DAHI's objective is to assist in the development of health and education in Dominica. It was founded by 2 Dominicans with support from Dominica diaspora and U.S. citizens. Speaking at the handing over ceremony, Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine said it is always a good feeling when corporate citizens give back to education.
And so when corporate citizens and non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations give back to education, this is very important, because government alone, the education system alone, the Ministry of Education alone cannot do it. School is about the government, yes, but also community. And community means everybody who can participate and who can play a part in ensuring that the kids who are at school have all the resources that they need so that they can succeed.
Fontaine thanked the Laurent family for their generosity and support to education on the island. In more news, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development, who handed a collection of French-Canadian books on Wednesday, compliments the Canadian Commission. Canadian High Commissioner to Dominica, Richard Hinley, presented the books to Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine and Director of the Alliance Française, Stanislas René, as part of the media launch for Francophonie Month. Hanley said Canada and Dominica have for a long time shared strong people-to-people ties, and the donation is just another example of those abiding ties.
Canada and Dominica enjoyed long-standing, friendly relations based on our common heritage and our strong people-to-people ties. We have collaborated in areas of mutual concern, and of course, are members of the Francophonie, and where we celebrate the French language and its rich, diverse Francophone culture, and the values, of course, of peace, democracy, human rights, sustainability, and solidarity. People of Dominica have many friends in Canada, and this exchange today is one more indication of the strong and abiding ties that Canadians have with this beautiful island, and particularly with its French heritage. There is a great connection with Canada.
The books will be distributed to primary schools across the island to promote and facilitate French language acquisition. Dominica and Canada have shared relations for the International Organization for La Francophonie, OIF, since December 1979. The organization was created with the objective of promoting a dialogue to develop a political and economic solidarity between the French-speaking peoples. And in other news, the Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Honorable Kelva Daru, has made it clear that the government has no intention of shutting down any media houses in Dominica. The minister came under fire from media practitioners and the public following a statement he made stating that government is looking at existing legislation on how the media in Dominica operates to ensure what is being reported is correct. At that time, Honorable Daru also stated that when the exercise is completed, there will be a difference in how information is disseminated on the island.
If it is reported in the media that there has been a plane crash, obviously the media would want to do its research and to find out exactly all of the details that have related to that particular story, and ensure that when they present the news, that they are in fact presenting the facts as it relates to the plane crash, and that is important. The second example I will give, and it is a more recent one, is in the last election of 2014, a certain media practitioner reported that Kelva Daru had lost the St. Joseph constituency. And that report came out even while persons were still inside of the polling stations counting the ballots. That report came out. And one can understand the frenzy that took place in the community, because that report was not accurate. That report was based on no facts at all. And then when, in fact, the results came out and indicated that I had won the seat, you could have imagined the emotions of some people.
Honorable Daru said these two examples are evidence of the importance of ensuring that factual information is disseminated in the media at all times. He explained that if media practitioners are unsure of the facts surrounding a matter, they have the responsibility to do the relevant research before reporting to the public.
And that is why earlier I emphasized that the statement I made in regards to the censorship, in regards to the media being responsible, is very important. Because clearly, the government does not want to place a vice grip around any media house. The government doesn't want to shut down any media station or anything like that. We believe that this is a democracy. People have a right to speak. But at the same time, while you have a right to speak, you also have to be responsible for what you're saying. And clearly, we've seen countless examples where, particularly on the talk shows, that individuals would call a program, they would speak their minds, and the host of the show would not give the correct information or not correct that individual if the information the caller is given is not accurate. And that is what I was speaking about. That is where the responsibility of the media practitioners come into play, to ensure that what the information that they give out is accurate. The information that they give out is in fact factual.
The minister said media practitioners need to be aware that news is not all about sensationalism. He noted the hosts of talk shows should ensure that callers are corrected and speak from an informed point of view.
And that is the angle I was taking it from, to ensure that the government provides the opportunity for the media to operate in a free society, but at the same time to understanding its responsibility. And I believe moving forward, the media here, who has been doing a tremendous job, should continue to do so and providing accurate information to the public. And I will continue to stand my ground in the statements I made and ensure that at the end of the day, the media is held accountable.
Minister Daru has cautioned that if not careful, certain things said in the media can have a negative impact on listeners, which may also have drastic consequences. Executive Director of NAB challenges Ministry of Education to remove unqualified teachers, and 7 young ladies prepare for the Mademoiselle Francophonie pageant. More details on these and other stories when we return.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever 6. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Welcome to Court's Digital World, where we have the widest range of digital products from the world's best brands, televisions, tablets, laptop computers, mobile phones, and much more. Connect, explore, engage.
Thanks for staying with us. Executive Director of the National Accreditation Board, NAB, Roch Bruno, says untrained teachers, especially at primary and secondary schools, need to be removed from the classrooms. He said this must be done in order to ensure quality education.
Nobody would ask Mr. Bruno to fly a plane from Dominica to Montserrat. In fact, if I was, I would refuse because I know I would be killing everybody on board, including myself. Nobody asks a member of the media to go perform operations at the hospital. In fact, there is a saying that, and Dr. Shillingford is here. This is not an attack on you, Dr. Shillingford. There is a saying that doctors kill their mistakes. If a doctor administers incorrect medication or cuts the wrong stuff, then the patient most likely dies. In education, teachers multiply their mistakes.
According to Bruno, once bad information is disseminated by a teacher, it is multiplied and replicated by the students. Bruno said the National Accreditation Board is responsible for raising the profile and status of tertiary education qualification awarded in Dominica.
It ensures that stakeholders obtain value for their investments. It also facilitates increased economic, social, and cultural development, as high-quality institutions are supposed to produce world-class graduates who are supposed to be committed to the task of national and regional development and are able to compete with the best in the world.
He said the community benefits from the National Accreditation Board, as it is the body for conducting and advising on accreditation and ensures quality of delivery of educational services through rigorous assessment of tertiary and higher education sources providers. The National Accreditation Board also provides authoritative advice to all stakeholders on the legitimacy and quality of institution programs and awards in Dominica.
A regulatory framework for tertiary education based upon competent legal authority, ensuring compliance and accountability of institutions and providers in the tertiary education sector. 4, a commitment to continuous improvement by all local tertiary institutions, facilitated by sustained quality enhancement support. 5, international trustworthiness and respect for local institutions and programs based on a comprehensive and rigorous national quality assurance system. 6, a culture of research, innovation, and the promotion of excellence in the local tertiary education sector.
Bruno said the board also is responsible for sustained capacity to evaluate and improve the quality of Dominica's tertiary education provisions. The National Accreditation Board was established by Act No. 13 of 2006 in Parliament. And 7 young ladies from primary schools across the island will participate in this year's Mademoiselle Francophonie pageant, scheduled for March 28th. Jasmine Benjamin, Soldier Wigan, Sonage Coriette, Nicole Ansem, Kezzy Vigilant, Joreen Joseph, and Reniska Caprice were introduced on Thursday, March 11th during the official media launch of Francophone Month. Charlene White Christian, French Modern Languages Coordinator in the Ministry of Education, was charged with launching the Francophone Month calendar and the Mademoiselle Francophonie participants.
Every year for the past 3 years, we focused on different Francophone countries. So this year we have Jasmine Benjamin from the Warner Primary School who will be representing Vietnam. Soldier Wigan from the Roseau Primary School who will be representing Morocco. Sonage Coriette from the St. Martin Primary School who will be representing Egypt. Nicole Anselme from the Grandefort Primary School who will be representing Rwanda. Kezzy Vigilant from the Castlebruce Primary School, she'll be representing Canada, Ottawa. And Jeraine Josie from the Goodwill Primary School will be representing Tunisia.
Reniska Caprice from the Convent Preparatory will represent Burundi.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Je m'appelle Reniska Caprice, j'ai 9 ans, j'étudie à Fort-Merfred et je représente le Burundi.
Bonjour à tous. Je m'appelle Sonage Coriette. Je représente Première Saint-Martin. Bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle Nicole Anselme et j'ai 11 ans. Je suis élève de 6e année dans l'école primaire de Grandefort. Je représente Rwanda, un pays d'Afrique centrale. Merci.
Bonjour à tous. Je m'appelle Kezzy Gabriel Vigilant. L'école primaire Castlebruce. Je représente Canada.
Bonjour à tous. Je m'appelle Jeraine Joseph, élève de l'école primaire de Goodwill. Je représente l'île de Tunis. Merci.
Jasmine Benjamin of the Warner Primary School was unable to make it to the launch on Thursday. The young ladies will compete in 4 rounds, including French speech, talent, the red, white, and blue colors of the French flag, and a presentation on their Francophone country attired in a semi-formal clothing. The Mademoiselle Francophonie pageant will begin from 3:30 p.m. at the Arawak House of Culture on March 28, 2015. Entrance fee is $10 for children and $15 for adults. President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, says plans are being put in place to make DSC's Miss Mash Jamboree part of the National Carnival celebration. Dr. Peters, who made the statement during the DSC's Mash Jamboree 2015 prize-giving ceremony on Thursday, said the 4-year-old event keeps growing annually.
It's a major effort for the institution. Everybody must be involved, not only student services, which is led by Mr. Hunter, but the faculty has been involved, Ms. Rivia, Ms. Laville, and all of the other people who are here. And that is the spirit that I like to see, where the entire university community pitch in and try to help to make things happen. I'd also like to thank the sponsors. If State College is a brand that people want to associate with, in the future they will be fighting to sponsor us. But in the meantime, we appreciate every effort and the generosity of the donors to our project. Next year, we intend for the brand to be even more spectacular. We sold out the Arawak Cinema this year. We expect if there's any bigger venue, we'll sell it out again. So for students who are interested in participating, talk to those who participated in 2015.
DSC's Director of Student Services, Edgar Hunter, thanked the 7 participants and their sponsors for making this year's event possible.
This year was a challenging one. Firstly, in terms of sponsorship. We found it very difficult. Most businesses find it's very hard to sponsor these days, and the few who sponsor, everybody goes to them. So we found it kind of difficult to raise the necessary sponsorship. But we want to say that we have a quality show. Our show is second only to the National Queen Show. And we provide young ladies for the Queen Show. For matter of fact, we can boast of Miss Odessa Eli, the reigning Miss Dominica 2015, is a winner of the DSC Mass Jamboree competition. Also, we want to thank in a special way our president and management for supporting this event. It's costing the college money to have the event. The college contributes highly to the event. But because our president believes in culture, and also he's the one who believes in marketing of the college, he continues to support the DSC Mass Jamboree.
Meanwhile, Miss Mass Jamboree 2015, Carla Henry, thanked the many sponsors who made her participation in the event possible.
I would firstly like to extend gratitude to the Miss Mash Jamboree Pageant Committee, along with the other external bodies, for providing and granting us this prestigious opportunity through the establishment and organizing of this pageant. We do hope that this venture continues to flourish. On behalf of myself and the organizers of this pageant, a special thank you.
Henry is hopeful that more sponsors will partner with the DSC for future Mash Jamboree pageants. The 2015 Miss Mash Jamboree contestants were Sharika Winston, Brianna Vidal, Carla Henry, Chantel George, Alwina Thomas, Sharice Fabian, and Tamika Balson. Third runner-up was Brianna Vidal, second runner-up Chantel George, while first runner-up was Sharice Fabian. All participants received a free tuition for the remainder of their time at the DFC, in addition to other prizes including cell phones and gift vouchers. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports news is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Dominica. Cricket comes to Nature Island once again, and Digicel Play will be on top of the action. The regional 4-day cricket match, Windward Islands Volcanoes versus Guyana Jaguars, comes to Dominica at the Windsor Park Stadium. Join us on 767 Local for a 767 Sports Special on Channel 3 from March 20 to the 23rd, 2015 from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tune in and recap the day with sports commentators Joseph Thomas and Andy Carter. Also join us for our post-games discussions on Friday, March 19 and again on Monday, 23rd March from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Channel 3. Look out for the 767 Sports Special brought to you by Digicel Play.
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want, hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. The technical staff of the Dominica Football Association, DFA, has selected a 20-man squad to represent Dominica in a friendly international match against Antigua and Barbuda on Sunday, March 15, 2015. Public Relations Officer of the DFA, Gerald Judge, has more.
The team which leaves Island on Friday, 13th March, is captained by goalkeeper Glenson Prince and will have midfielder Chad Butchwell as vice-captain. Only one overseas-based player is included in the lineup in the person of Julian Wade. 3 players will be making their debut, and they are Scotty Phillip, Malian Phillip, and Travis Joseph. The rest of the squad reads Hubert Prince, Courtney McKenzie, Malcolm Joseph, Kevin Lawrence, Dalton Banis, Aldrin Lawrence, Jocelyn Prince, Brian Thomas, Nail Lee, Sidney Lockhart, Glenn Wolf Elize, Mitchell Joseph, Randolph Peltier, and Owen Oscar. The technical staff reads Heinrich Hansen, manager, Shane Marshall, head coach, Ellington Sabin, assistant coach, Keith Prosper, trainer, Courtney Challenger, goalkeeper coach, Albert Noel, medics personnel, and Jerome Badwell, technical director.
Dominica will play Antigua and Barbuda at the recreational grounds at 6 p.m. on Sunday. The team will return home on Monday.
Meanwhile, former FIFA match officials Carlisle John Baptiste and Steve Samuel, along with national senior women goalkeeper Christina Sobers, will also leave Island on Friday, 13th March 2015. Carlisle will participate in a referee's instructor course, while Steve and Christina will participate in a fitness course for referees. The course will run from 14th to 19th March.
In basketball, the rain simply did not take a break on Wednesday evening. However, this did not stop Detroit Blazers from defeating Kyrie FM Old School in the second semi-final of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association President's Cup at the Lindo Park Hard Court in Goodwill. At the start of the game, Blazers wasted no time jumping out to an early lead of 21-11 at the end of the first quarter. They continued with their commanding play as they outscored Old School in all 3 remaining quarters, winning the game by a margin of 44 points. Jeff Jeremy, captain of Detroit's Blazers, in an interview with 767 News said his team was confident to secure a victory over what he deemed a weaker team.
We have the experience already, pass the ball. Like as you can see when we were running, you were listening to the game, I was telling the guys just cool it down, just like a netball style, while old school trying to dribble out. We just pass the ball. It's simple way, Jen. Just pass the ball now and then we get an easy clear basket, dribble, and our guys are more skillful than them, and they get into the basket so easily.
He said although the basketball court was saturated with water, this had minimal effect on the team's performance.
Before we go, one thing we say for guys, we're going to cut, we must win. Don't go and try to force yourself about anything. If anything going away from you, let it go. The points is easy there. Old school is no match for us. It's just a second division team. It's no match completely. We're going to play which in next team in the other division. It's easy for us. It's like nothing. We were hoping to play Prowlers. We are hoping to play Prowlers, which is the second team, the second strongest team in the Premier Division. We're hoping to play them, but seeing that we're going to play a league team. Like it's the guys don't really want to play because for them it's no competition.
Meanwhile, Chester Later, captain of Kyrie FM Old School, said he anticipated the difficult task in defeating Detroit's Blazers, who are the winners of the Premier Division League and can be regarded as the best team on the island.
To be very honest, we didn't really have time to put in a practice. So, because this is a team that we have been there, we have guys that have been playing basketball for quite some time. So we're familiar with ourselves, we're familiar with the game, and we're also familiar with the guys on Detroit's.
Later said his team is looking forward to the commencement of the 2015 basketball season, which officially kicks off on Saturday from 8 p.m. at the Lindo Park Hard Court. Final scores in the game: Detroit's 84, Kyrie FM Old School 40. In netball, the quarterfinals of the Sports Division Secondary Schools Under 14 Netball Championship are scheduled to take place at two venues on Friday, March 13th. At 3 p.m., the Northeast Comprehensive School A will take on the Portsmouth Secondary School B at Portsmouth, while at 4 p.m., the Northeast Comprehensive School B will face the Portsmouth Secondary School A, also at Portsmouth. Also at 3 p.m., it will be the Dominica Grammar School versus the Castle Bruce Secondary School at the DGS, to be followed at 4 p.m., a match between the Convent High School A versus the Convent High School B at the Dominica Grammar School. And in football, the quarterfinal of the National Bank of Dominica Primary Schools Football Championships will take place on Friday, March 13th. Sports officer Yudi John, in an interview with 767 News, said a number of matches will be played on that day.
At the Lio Park at 2:30 p.m., we have Woodfordle going up against the Mao School. At Lindo Park, we have the Goodway Primary School going up against the St. John's Primary School. And at the Lindo Park also at 3 p.m. we will have the St. Mary's Primary going up against the Mount John. While at Castle Bruce, we will have the Salibia Primary going up against the St. Luke's Primary. The four schools are the schools that remain in the competition. We've gone through the district stages where we played in the preliminary round, so we had qualifiers into what we call an intermediate round, and now we're into the quarterfinals.
He said there are 3 venues for the competition, as the winners of the intermediate round benefit their following game being played on home ground. The semi-finals and finals of the Sports Division Organized Championship will take place on a date which will soon be announced.
At the Sports Division, what we do, we have a program where we send out the coaches into the primary schools to work with the primary schools as we develop the sport at the grassroots level right throughout the country, and through our after-school programs. And what we've seen is the young boys, they're benefiting from the coaching, and as a result, the quality of play is being reflected in the game. And I must say there are quite a few athletes who are displaying some tremendous talent that Dominica can be boastful of, and talents we will definitely see in the future on the national level.
And that's it for tonight's Sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports news.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Dominica makes active move towards certifying TVET learners. Primary schools island-wide to benefit from French-Canadian text donation. An ICT minister assures that media regulation is not aimed at shutting down any media house. In sports, the Treads emerged victorious in DABA's Game 2 of their President's Cup. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Find us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening and thanks for watching.